Hello, beautiful seekers. This is Clarity 1129, and as I promised, I am back with your full moon in Aquarius reading. So, welcome back, and let's get into it without further ado. As you can see, my moon is all lit up. I actually wanted to keep the room completely dark, but then I wasn't able to look at things clearly myself. So that's why I've got a small little lamp behind. But we can enjoy the moon while we do this reading, all right? Now, on the 23rd of July, we have the full moon in Aquarius. And as you know about full moons, this is the time for us to reflect on the previous 6 months, what we have achieved, what we have learned, and from the lessons learned, what we need to let go of, and give ourselves a pat on the back for all that we have achieved, all the trials and tribulations that we have experienced, and come out victorious, wounded perhaps in some cases, but we're still here and we are moving ahead. So we ought to applaud ourselves for every little achievement of ours, and sometimes for just hanging in there, right? So in today's reading, we're just going to see what is it about this Aquarius energy. Now, right now we are at we have entered the age of Aquarius. There's so many changes. The shift is huge. There are a lot of energies. Different energies and so many planetary motions that we are actually going through a whole lot. We don't realize that in our day-to-day life. In our day-to-day life, the last thing that's on our minds are, planetary positions and what's happening in the stars and what's happening in the skies. But all the shifts that are happening, they have an impact on our lives, whether we see it for what it is or not. So this particular reading is just going to give you some clarity at this particular time, and it's going to help you just see where you are, and at this time what is it that you should look into, so that your life as you move forward is a bit easier, and at least you're not confused as to why things are going this way, and it gives you some clarity on what you should do next or what you could do next. All right. So as you can see, I've got the two full moon cards here. The full moon says surrender to the divine. I absolutely love this card because surrender is something which is very difficult to do, but it is one of the most beautiful things to do. It doesn't mean that you give up working. It just means that if you desire something, you spell it out, you work towards it, but you surrender the outcome to the universe, trusting that the universe has your back. All right. So this is the card for every full moon, that you've done your thing, the cycle is coming to an end, just surrender to the divine and things will fall in place. And the full moon in Aquarius tells you to show the world the real you. So no matter what you go through, and however it is that people perceive you, you are being asked to not mold yourself to fit their perception, but to be your authentic self every single time. And those who are meant to be in your life, they will see that, they will appreciate that, and they will want to be a part of your life just for who you are. Let your authenticity shine. Just be yourself. All right. So these are the two themes for this full moon. Keeping that in mind, we will take a look at the piles. We have pile number 1, which is the Light Seer's Tarot or the Sodalite Crystal. Pile number 2 is the Morgan Greer Tarot or the Clear Quartz Crystal. Pile number 3 is the Mystic Monday Tarot or the Red Jasper. And pile number 4 is the Original Rider-Waite or the Amethyst. So take a deep breath, relax, and whichever pile you're instinctively drawn to, or the crystal, or if you go to the timestamps, whichever number you're drawn to, that is your pile. If you're instinctively drawn to more than one, you can check out both. It's up to you. If you want to check them all out, it's fine, but at no cost should you force fit anything that does not resonate with you. These are general readings, and so they will not resonate with everybody. All right, so have you enjoyed the moon? Now you will get the light of the moon, but I'll need some more space. So we'll shift these cards here, and we shall move to pile number 1. I think we'll move this out of the way for now. All right. Those who've chosen pile number 1, the Light Seer's Tarot or the Sodalite Crystal, I've got one card from the Moonology deck as advice for you, which we shall look at the end of the reading. I'll place it here. All right, let me place the cards. We begin with the 9 of Swords, the Knight of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the 5 of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and 3 of Swords. Are all the cards visible? Yes, they are. All right, pile number 1. How have your unique gifts contributed to your community? And you get the 9 of Swords. Just with this card, what I get is that you are a very sensitive person. All you pile number 1s, you are very sensitive people, and you feel greatly for all those around you, and no matter what you do for people around you, you know, you're the kind of person who can even pick up, you must be an empath or a light worker. This is your pile, most of you who've chosen this. You actually can pick up energy of the people around you. People naturally are attracted to you, and they have a tendency to tell you all their problems and offload on you. And you don't realize how your day flies, but you are busy listening to people and absorbing their energy, even though you don't want to, but you try. People feel good talking to you, so they come to you, they offload, and they go off, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it stresses you out, and you find yourself in this 9 of Swords energy. This is of somebody who's having sleepless nights, who's forever thinking, and you know, and there are these thoughts which are weighing down heavily upon you. So your contribution to your community is that you are such a kind and compassionate soul, and you're doing so much without realizing that you're doing so much. So somewhere deep down inside, you might be thinking that you really are not contributing, because you don't see it as some, you know, there are different people. Some people contribute, they get recognized, you know, or they are on a larger scale, they do things, they say they make a lot of money doing something, and you know, or they have, say, a YouTube channel which is doing extremely well, or they have a blog which is doing extremely well, or they have their own, you know, they're working with in NGOs. There are different ways of people who like to go and help, apart from the conventional, obviously, the conventional areas of work. Now, in your case, you feel that you aren't contributing enough, which is leading to these Nine of Swords, because you might be finding yourself with heavy energies all the time. And this is what you are being shown, that actually your contribution is silent, that you don't realize it, because it could be your neighbor who's come and offloaded. It could be someone from your family, your parents, or your sibling, or your spouse, or your friends around you. Anybody, they could just call you up, because when they are down, they call you up, and they may be spending lots of time just telling you their problems, and then they keep it down. And for you, you've just given them a lending ear. Maybe you've given them a bit of advice, or you've just heard them out and comforted them in some way. And for you, that's not a big deal, because you just feel that that's a normal thing. They're calling you because they know you, and that's it. But it's not a small thing. You're giving your energy, you're giving your time. There is nothing more valuable than your time, and you're giving your energy. That time, that energy is not going to come back. So your contribution is immense, pile number 1. What should you let go of to be able to shine? And you get the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is about moving forward with a lot of passion, but you may not be able to sustain the momentum. Okay, so the Knight of Wands is very charming. The Knight of Wands is someone who sees his goal and just goes without thinking too much, without making an elaborate plan. They just go. So they go ahead after whatever they want, but then they come back just as fast. All right, and you are being asked to let go of this. So basically, what I see from this is that you've got a lot of ideas, you've got passion for a certain set of things, but you are not able to sustain that or follow your dreams because you are caught up in making things comfortable for those around you. You don't even realize that. Maybe you do. Maybe there are times you're frustrated, but you don't tell anyone about it. And you're being asked to let this energy of just doing a little bit to satisfy yourself and then giving it up, to let go of this tendency of yours, because you deserve better than this. You need to contribute a lot more to yourself as well. All right, pile number 1s. How are you? When we talk about the full moon in Aquarius is a very benevolent sign. It's a visionary. It is all about not just self-fulfillment and uplifting the self, but also uplifting everyone, the whole community with them. They are the zodiac sign which is known for their what do I say, for their large-heartedness, for their they're so far-sighted in certain ways that they actually sometimes are seen as eccentric, because they have seen so much ahead and they want to do things so differently, but they want to include everybody. They want everybody to rise and shine. All right, so during this time, how can you, what can you do to make a change which will positively help other people, which will inspire other people? What can you do? What should your role be in uplifting your community? And you get the beautiful Ace of Cups. And this is exactly what I said in the beginning, what I picked up with this Nine of Swords, that you are extremely sensitive people, and you don't even realize that you have this beautiful cup of love to offer. And this is what you're doing. You're pouring out love in all directions without even realizing it. And that's how you get into this Nine of Swords energy. And you are being called to first bathe yourself in this cup of love. First you love yourself, give yourself that love, set healthy boundaries. It's all right, if you take out some time to yourself to rejuvenate. You have to be replenished after you give away so much of energy. You need that time for yourself. You cannot afford to miss your self-care rituals. Anything and everything that makes you happy is also important. The people around you, be it your family, be it your friends, whoever it is, they are important. I will not say they are not important, but they are not more important than you are. It is like that for everybody. For me, my children are extremely important. My husband is important. My parents are very important. But, all this while you are taught, as we're growing up, this is what we are taught, that you put the other person first, put the other person first. If you think about yourself, you're a selfish person. But we've got to get something absolutely clear. Doing something for yourself is not wrong. If that is what is selfish, then selfish is good. When you say selfish is in a derogatory way, it is when you walk over someone else to get what you want. Now that is not positive. But to go out there and give yourself just as much as you would give others is not selfish. That's okay. I mean, if that is what is selfish, then accept that selfish is good. Because you are just as important as the next person. So in practicing self-love, I'm not telling you to go and snatch what is not yours and take it for yourself. No. But if there is something which is present there and it's for everyone, don't give up your share for everybody else. That is not being benevolent. That is just being, that's a trait which screams codependency. Because you cannot give more to the world outside without keeping some of it for you. In fact, the first person you have to take care of is yourself. Otherwise, you will not be able to sustain this. How much can you give other people if you have nothing to, suppose you have money, you can help people. You got a whole, say a chest of treasures with you, then you can give people. But if your own treasure is empty, your chest is empty, then what do? Can you give anyone anything? You cannot. So you are being asked to pour this cup of love into your own self, and by doing that, you will find that you have more love to give. You have more compassion. All this compassion and kindness that you have, it will not drain you if you take that time for yourself. All right, pile number 1, and this is your calling, to be able to give that, open your kind and compassionate heart to other people. But to be able to sustain that, to be able to help the community, you need to do some of that for yourself. Now, how can you explore different platforms to be able to help your community? All right. Now we get the 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands is about arguments. So now see, when we talk about the age of the Aquarius, and when we're talking about full moon in Aquarius, and we talk about Aquarius energy, and in fact the air signs, it's all about communication. All right, so you're being asked, how can you communicate? It's actually communication, especially through social media. So in this case, how can you spread your kindness and compassion to your community? And with this 5 of Wands, what I see is that this fighting that you have is not with the people around you, because the kind of person you are more of a problem solver, is what, I feel your role is very often that of a mediator. And this is exactly what you do. to spread harmony in the community around you, whether it's when we're talking about your family or a larger community, maybe the colony that you live, or if you're taking it as a larger community, or in whichever way it is, wherever you're working with, whoever you're dealing with, you are the kind of person who's extremely mature, and being this empath, which I can pick up that you are an empath and a light worker, you are the kind of person who wants what's best for everybody. So you have that maturity to not jump to conclusions, to not have your ego come in to be one up on people. So you work best when you are in this role wherein you understand everybody's point of view and you can be objective about it. So you are being asked to be a little more assertive, because since you do not want to upset anybody, and you can see where people are coming from, sometimes your voice may be suppressed, and you are being asked to be a little more assertive wherever you are, because you have this capability to be extremely sensitive. So you can pick up on people's energies. So you're being asked to be a little more assertive when you communicate, when there are people around you who are being, say, aggressive or, argumentative, or they're being extremely emphatic about what they want. You're being asked to also put in your bit and put it firmly, because you are objective. You are the person who is the objective viewer here. And your contribution is no way small, it's immense, because you are the peacemaker here. Okay, so pile number ones, you are wonderful, wonderful people. You really are a lovely lot of people, and you have so much of kindness and compassion, but you need to be firm and you need to have those boundaries in place. And please learn to trust your judgment, because your maturity is your plus point, it's your strength. Your sensitive nature is your strength. And don't let anyone see it as a weakness. And for that, you don't see your strength as a weakness either. And why is it that you struggle to communicate with your real feelings to someone? Why is it that you are hesitant to be vulnerable in front of people? And with this Three of Swords and this Ace of Wands, you've had either one or a number of instances wherein your heart has been broken, wherein people haven't understood you, wherein people haven't been as sensitive as you are, and you feel that if you speak up, and if you actually set your boundaries as you're being asked to do, you feel that your heart will be broken, people will walk away. But it's not going to be like that, pile number one. What happens is, when you show your vulnerable side to people, without it being a weakness, but as a strength, that if you let people know that you've been through so much, and that is how, maturity comes only when you go through a whole lot of experiences, and those experiences are not always wonderful. In fact, our character is built with everything that goes wrong in our life. And when we overcome those obstacles, that's how our character gets made, and that's how maturity comes into our lives, right? So you have reached this place wherein you are such a sensitive soul, you got so much of kindness and compassion, and you have this maturity. People look at you as the peacemaker, but sometimes they tend to walk over you because you allow them to, because you feel if you show your, maybe sometimes you feel it's wrong and you just want to put your hands up and say, enough is enough, I've had enough of this. But you don't, because you feel that if you say that and people see your vulnerable side, they might not want to come to you again, or they might walk away from you. But you're being asked to let people see what you actually feel. And with this full moon in Aquarius card, which says show the world the real you, you don't always have to show up as a person who's always pleasant, who always understands, who'll always keep quiet, who'll always give someone else, the benefit of doubt. Sometimes it's all right to, show that side of yours, your irritability, your annoyance, your absolute frustration if someone's not getting the point. It is all right to be able to show that. It is okay to be vulnerable. You are human just like the next person. And if they have a whole gamut of emotions, so do you. And it's all right to express it once in a while. Yes, you are a mature person, and if someone sees that you're vulnerable, it doesn't mean you're no longer mature or you're no longer worthy of anything. That's not true. You are wonderful, wonderful people, pile number one. All of those of you who have chosen this pile, you are wonderful people. You are empaths. In fact, when you are going to show your vulnerable side to people, people will stop stepping over your boundaries. They'll respect your boundaries. They'll realize that this wonderful person who's so mature, who's guiding us, who listens to all our problems, who's never said anything, if this person's actually reacted this way, that means we have actually crossed the line and we should stop. And when you do this, you actually get closer to people. People get more inspired by you, that, oh my God, she's been through so much and she has all these emotions inside of her, but she doesn't show them because she's so mature. And we can all strive to be like that. She or he, I don't know whether I've used she. Actually, there's so many girl images, so I may have said that, but it doesn't matter. Gender is not important here. What's important here is, as a person, if you are an empath and who you've always done everything for everybody, see, that's your basic personality. You're not going to change that, right? But setting healthy boundaries is of extreme importance. What's happening, I'm fumbling a lot today, is of extreme importance. And letting people know your boundaries and giving yourself love is the healthy thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Because you cannot let people walk over you, and you cannot let everyone always have an opinion without your opinion being stated. So you're being asked to bring out that side of yourself. And then with the Ace of Wands, what happens is, when you show your vulnerable side, people warm up to you a little more. And if you feel that they walk away, no, the ones who are meant to be with you will remain. And then you can actually, this Knight of Wands, you can fuel it with your Ace of Wands energy. So you can actually start following your passions as well, and you will be able to sustain them. You won't need to give them up because you're dealing with other people's problems. Pile number one, this is for you to keep in mind. Your dreams are as important as the next person's. Your emotions are as important as the next person. Unless your cup of love is full, and unless you have bathed yourself in that cup of self-love, you will not be able to sustain giving your love and your energy and your time to other people. You will reach the 10 of Wands, you will be totally exhausted and spent and burnt out. So this full moon in Aquarius, reflect over this. Reflect over all that's happened in the past 6 months. Where is it that you could have been more assertive? Where is it that you could have shown yourself some compassion too? Identify that, so that in the next new moon cycle, you actually make that intention that you will love yourself and you will give yourself credit every step of the way. All right, and you will be kind. The kindness and compassionate nature of yours, the kindness and compassion that you show to other people, should begin with yourself. All right, pile number one. And what's the advice from the moon? You take time to breathe out with the disseminating moon. And this is it. This goes hand in hand with your 9 of Swords energy. You have poured in so much of your energy, kindness and compassion to the people around you that you have forgotten yourself completely. And this is the advice you get from the moon. Do take your time out away from all these people and give yourself that time. Be kind to yourself. Do all those self-care rituals at the cost of repeating myself. It's an extremely, extremely important pile number 1. All right. If this reading resonated, do let me know in the comments. But whichever way it is, pile number 1, souls like you are extremely precious. We need more of you in this world. All right. But to be able to do good work, you have to take care of yourself. So please do that. All right, pile number 1. And with that, we come to pile number 2, those who chose the Morgan Greer Tarot or the clear quartz crystal. We've got one advice from the Moonology deck, which we shall look at the end of the reading. We'll place your cards. We begin with the Strength. I'm using this Morgan Greer after a while. I love the images. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. We have Justice. Ace of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. And the Three of Swords in reverse. Pile number had the Three of Swords upright in the same position. All right, pile number 2. How have your unique gifts contributed to your community in the past 6 months? And you get this beautiful Strength card, which is the card of Leo. Can you see this lady, how she's got this lion? It's almost as though she's got a cat and not a lion. That's how she's looking at this beast with such kindness, compassion, with so much of poise. And the beast is just there. He would be so ferocious to anybody else, but look at him out here. Because there is mutual respect. She's not got him chained or something like that. They're absolutely comfortable because there is mutual respect here. And this is your biggest strength. And this is how you can contribute to the people, to the community, is by this great sense of strength that you have, pile number 1. You are the kind of person who can do anything because you have that inner strength. It's quiet, determined strength. You are natural leaders. You can inspire people to do anything just by doing it yourself. People just look at, they say, oh my Lord, look at pile number 2. They're doing this. This is wonderful. We should also try it. Look at, because you have that in you. You draw people to you because of the way you are. You are the kind of people who lead by example. And you are able to inspire the most difficult people that other people might not be able to, get them to do anything. You are able to inspire a whole lot of people from different walks of life, and this is how you contribute to your community. Very strong people, pile number 2. What should you let go of? For you to shine a little more. And you get the Knight of Swords in reverse. Now the Knight of Swords is someone who goes after the truth. And the Knight of Swords in reverse is someone who, as it is, the Knight of Swords is extremely impulsive, right? And with this in reverse, what you get is that you have a tendency to possibly jump to conclusions. And you're being asked to take a little more time before you actually say something. It's possible that while you're dealing with so many people, see, you're a natural leader and you have so many people looking up to you, and there are things that you do, and there are people who come up to you. And with the Strength card, it could be that you have the Leo temperament as well, and it's possible that you're quick to respond, and you're being asked to let go of this particular aspect of yours. That you're being asked to respond and not to react. And if you can let this go, you'll find that you are, as it is, extremely inspirational, but you'll find that there are a whole lot more people who come to you. There will be people who are scared to approach you because you might actually just cut them off with your words, and you're being asked to think before you do that. Because there are what happens sometimes is that people who are great leaders and great visionaries, they have so much, they are leading a whole lot of people to do something. They've got their vision set. They know what they want. Now, the people who are inspired by them and who are following them, they don't have that vision. They are following the vision of the leader. Now, if you turn around and expect them to have the same vision, the same maturity, the same clarity, and carry on the task, it's not going to be. You're going to work with all kinds of people. And when people come to you and they say something, you might just cut them off because they're talking, for example, if they don't make sense, or you feel that you've repeated something a couple of times and they still, to you look like they're absolutely thick, maybe. I don't know whether I should use that word, but if you feel that they don't understand you or they're not on the same page, you have a tendency to cut them off. And it's not out of malice. It's just because you want to move ahead. And you're being asked to let go of this tendency and to appreciate, which you normally do, that everyone is different and they don't see things as clearly as you do. So you've got to just tone that down a bit. Sometimes you may have this need that everyone does things the way you want it done, and you're being asked to just tone down the way you deal with these people. All right? And what is your role in inspiring change for the largest good? And you get this beautiful Justice card. So along with this, these are beautiful. These are both major arcanas, and they're beautiful cards. They see your inner strength, pile number 2. People around you, your community, they see your inner strength. They see how you inspire. And more than the fact that you lead by example and that you're so inspirational, what actually gets people to flock to you is your sense of justice. All right, that despite the fact that sometimes you may cut people with your words, they realize, they've observed you enough to realize that you are a very just person. All right, and they're still hesitant to come to you, possibly because no one wants to, hear something that's unpleasant, no matter how true it is. And yet, the biggest contribution you can give this community is by sticking to this wonderful trait that you possess, and that is of being just. All right, this is Libra energy. This is beautiful. And how can you use different platforms to be able to communicate so much that you have to offer? And you get the Ace of Pentacles. So with Ace of Pentacles, you're being asked to think of innovative ways of, inspiring people. And it's possible that in your case, you are the kind of person who can actually generate jobs for people. This is what's coming to me. There are some people who can give people advice. There are some people who can, offer a lending ear. They lend their ear to someone, or they can work in different capacities. In your case, what I'm picking up very strongly with your sense of justice and qualities of inner strength, the way this is, and with this Ace of Pentacles here, I feel you're the pile that can actually reach out to a lot more people, because you have got this practical bent of mind, and you can actually generate jobs for people, or do things like career counseling and things like that. And this, by this, you can communicate to people a lot. People actually flock towards you, because they know that you have something which is, if pile number 2 has something to say, then it would be something practical, it would be something that's just, and it would be something that's worth it, because pile number 2 is there. They see you as inspirational, they just want to follow your footsteps, and they feel that what you have to offer will be legit. All right, so this is how you are being asked to communicate and utilize, to get more and more people so that you can uplift. You're being asked to generate jobs for them, or tell them how they can go ahead so that they can be independent financially. All right. Again, you get why. So what is it that stops you from being vulnerable to the people around you? You are showing immense strength here, pile number 2s. You have this strong sense of justice. So when people look at you, you're someone who's poised, who's got it all under control. And then people might actually think that your life is so perfect and that you've never had anything that goes amiss, because you are just so adept at being poised all the time. People don't see that you're going through so many ups and downs in your personal life, in areas where it's not visible to them, because you don't believe in showing them your vulnerable side. It's possible that you've been taught as you were growing up that no one wants to see you with your mood swings. People want to see a happy person. People like working with a happy person. This must have been ingrained into you. It is ingrained into so many of us, that whatever your emotions are, you keep it within you. You only show your happy side. You come back home and you can shed your tears. That's what we taught when we were kids. And you are being asked to show your vulnerable side. This was similar to pile number 1. It's the same thing. In your case, you get this 3 of Swords in reverse. So you've healed from whatever heartbreak there has been. You have done a lot of healing on yourself, and you're coming out from this energy. In fact, you have come out from this energy completely. But still, you're in two minds to let people see that side of you. With this 2 of Pentacles, you still wonder whether it will be a good idea to let people know what you've been through, or to let people know what you're going through. Because even though you've healed from all your past experiences, you are not really comfortable with the idea of letting people see that side of you. Because despite your inner strength, you feel if you speak about it, it will be seen as a weakness. But it will not be, pile number 2. You're a very solid lot of people here, pile number 2. Very practical, just, poised, great amount of inner strength, but you need to be a little more approachable, one, by changing the way you react to people, and by being a little more open to people, to let them see that you've come here because of all that you've been through, and that it's okay for them to just like it's all right for you to listen to their, when you're creating jobs for them, when you're leading by example, those people are obviously not at the level that you are in. They're looking up to you and following you. So if you show your vulnerable side, it makes them a little more comfortable that, all right, if they've been through all this and they've reached this particular place, we have hope too. So you're being asked to show your vulnerable side, and that it'll be very, very impactful for those around you. And what's the advice you get from the moon? You get, believe in the impossible. This is beautiful. So if you have not thought about this option, pile number 2, this is what I'm getting with this, believe in the impossible. you can actually do a great deal for the community that you're a part of, or for a even larger community, maybe your country even, or at least say, if I don't know, I really don't know, but how big it can be, but it can be really big, because this is, you might start really small, but this has potential for great expansion. And pile number 2, you have that inner strength and that ability and that sense of fairness to take this forward. And if you actually believe in this, if you just look at it right now, wherever it is, whichever stage that you are, and you feel no, you really won't grow so much, think again. You're being asked to believe in the impossible, that you can actually contribute a whole lot to the community. Pile number 2. We'll be reading about you in the papers in some time, because you are going to be able to actually help so many people with tangible things. You're going to make so many people independent, and that they can earn their own upkeep. They can earn, to sustain themselves. And this is what you're going to help them do. All right. If this reading resonated with you, do let me know in the comments. It's a beautiful reading, pile number 2. So just know that you're on the right path, and if you can show your vulnerable side to people, people will come to you and open up more freely, and that will really help you. And whatever you're doing, you're on the right path, pile number 2. Just don't give up. Just keep at it. All right. With that, we come to pile number 3, those who chose the Mystic Monday Tarot or the Red Jasper. Here is your reading. We've got one advice card from the Moonology deck, which we shall look at the end of the reading. I shall place your cards now. We begin with the Fool. This is a very vibrant deck again, very colorful. The Nine of Wands. The Lovers. The Emperor. Justice. And the Four of Cups. All right, pile number 3. Let me take a quick sip of water. What have your unique gifts how have your unique gifts contributed to the community that you're in, or to society at large? And you get the Fool. Now the Fool is Aquarius energy. Some people see it as Aries, but I look at it as Uranus energy. All right. With the Fool, you are someone who teaches people to live in the here and now. The Fool is someone who's ready to embark on this journey without a care in the world. You want to do something, you've got his sights, you've got your focus on something. You have your goal ahead of you, and that's it. You don't look at anything else. You're not worried about what if this didn't go okay, what if something goes wrong, I should have a plan B. No, you don't think like that. If there is something that inspires you, no matter how different it is, no matter how unconventional it is, if it triggers passion in you, you go for it. And this wonderful, unique trait of yours is extremely inspirational to those around you. All right? If someone comes to you for advice, if someone comes to you saying that they want to do something, you're the kind of person who will actually give them all the encouragement they need to start afresh. You'll tell them to go for it. Don't have a care for the world. Go for it. It's not about being rash. It's about following your heart. And you know that. And people see you as having done that. It's not as though you just give people advice and you don't follow it yourself. People see you following it. And they get inspired by that. And this is how you actually help people around you. And what do you need to let go of so that, your uniqueness can shine? And you get the Nine of Wands. With the Nine of Wands, I find pile number 3. You people do embark on things which are unconventional. You feel called to do it, you just go ahead and do it. But in doing so, you also, because you are the ones who are actually, finding a new path, going to places where other people haven't been before, taking the road less traveled. So you come across this 9, you are the wounded warrior. And people see that as well. And you're being asked to, and it's possible that when you reach this stage of the 9 of Wands, where you are the wounded warrior, that you've been through so much, that you start putting your walls up. You don't let people in. And you are being asked to release this. You have this tendency that you start off anything afresh without a care in the world, because there's something that you want. You've got your sights fixed on something. You want to go ahead, all right? And you do, and you work at it, and you actually are not worried about anything. But in doing so, by the time you reach a certain point, you've been through so many hardships that you start putting walls around you. You don't take help from anybody, and you're being asked to let this go. Spirit is asking you, is telling you that, you have been there, you've done that, you are capable. You know you are capable. But just because you're capable doesn't mean that when someone offers you help, and if you can take someone's help to make your journey a little easier, you shouldn't shut them out. That's what you're being told. Because then you will reach your destination faster. You'll be able to help more people. All right? So this is what you need to let go, and then people can actually see you getting to your goal faster, and that itself is very inspirational for people, because most people are all, though you can tell the whole world to enjoy the journey, most people are goal oriented. They want to see, did you get there? Did you do what you wanted to do? Did you reach it? Did you, so they're just saying that your journey can be a lot more comfortable and easier if you allow people in. And what is your role in, inspiring change? And you get the beautiful Lovers card. So I get, maybe that is why this is coming so strongly, that you're being asked to let go of this 9 of Wands, because you are actually meant to collaborate with somebody. May or may not be a love interest, but you are meant to collaborate with somebody, and together you are going to make it really big. Pile number 3. It may not be for each and everybody, but whoever this message is for, I feel it is for a majority of you, that though you have the capability of going the distance alone, and though you have come a great deal ahead all by yourself, you're being asked to now drop your defenses. Just bring that wall down. Don't keep that wall up. And there is someone who can actually come, and who will come, whom if you collaborate with them, you will make such a lot of difference to the community. And this is why you're being asked to become a little, less defensive. How can you use various platforms to inspire positivity? How can you use various platforms of communication? And you get the Emperor. The Emperor is Aries energy. What you're being asked, pile number 3, yours has got 4 major arcana. I just realized your reading has got the maximum major arcana, if I'm not mistaken, so far. We haven't seen pile number 4. But you are going to have a whole lot of resources at your disposal. Pile number 3. Alright? And so what you can communicate doesn't have to be on a small scale. It can be on a large scale. You can use social media platforms depending on what this journey is. Because the Fool, with this Fool's journey, and with what I can pick up from this, is that you go behind whatever you want to, which is usually unconventional. But whatever it is that you have done and you've fought and you've gone ahead, you have reached a stage where you've got a lot of power and a lot of resources with you. Alright? And you're being asked to collaborate with someone, but even before that actually happens, when this happens, it's going to be a very big deal. But even before that happens, you're being asked to, tap into your Emperor potential and go out there and announce it to the world. Let people know whatever that you're doing, whether you want help from people, because you're being asked to drop down your defenses, right? So you can ask for people. See, if you've got a certain idea which you're working on, which is a project which will help a whole lot of people in whichever way it is, and you want support, or if you've gone somewhere on your own, and you say you see an indigenous tribe, you've come across them, say you on a holiday and you've come across them and you feel that you need to do it, or if you've gone to, say, you feel drawn to fight for the cause of animals, and you've done something. Now, this is not a very conventional thing. There are more and more people doing it, but still the numbers are few, and you have decided you're going to do that. So you're being asked to think like an emperor. Use all that you have. Go on all social media platforms, announce the first, raise funds. You have it in you to do that, and you will get all the support that you need. So this is what you're being asked, pile number 3. Whatever it is that you have, but even on your own, if you can achieve so much, just think of how much more you can achieve and how much more you can help your community if you just allow those walls to come down, and if you actually ask and appeal for help. These days, thanks to the internet, we can actually reach out to so many people, and you're being asked to do that. Reach out to people, communicate, let them be aware of, so many people around the world are not aware of so many things. If you can, say, use YouTube and use Facebook and whatever other platforms there are, use it. Let people see the good work that you're doing. Let them contribute. All right? And this is what you're being asked to do. And why do you struggle showing your vulnerable side, and you get Justice? Pile number 3 is you don't show your vulnerable side to people. This is a lot of air energy. The Fool is Aquarius, Justice is Libra, Lovers is Gemini. I just noticed, and these 3 are major arcana. Beautiful. And then you have fire here and a bit of water. Okay, so why you don't show your vulnerable side to people? 2 reasons. One, you don't want to be weak and you don't want people to come and help you. That's why you've got your walls up. Secondly, if you've got a lot of air, if people who've chosen this pile are air signs, then you feel that if you show your vulnerable side, you will have a lot of people flocking towards you, and instead of doing what you actually want them to do, I mean, you are finally gathering whatever you want for a cause, right? And you feel that if you show your vulnerable side, instead of people taking care of the cause, they'll start taking care of you, and you don't want that. Air signs are actually extremely friendly, and they come across as warm and everything, but they want their space, and they don't like people crowding around them, all right? And not literally, even otherwise, they just like their space. So it's possible that you don't show your vulnerable side to people because you feel, for one, that then the focus goes away from the cause and it comes to your personal life. And secondly, you feel that everyone goes through trials and tribulations. You are not anything special. So why should you show your side to anybody? They can deal with their problems and you will deal with yours, and why should you show anyone that? But what you're being asked to do is that if you, with this Four of Cups energy, you're being, now this can be, the traditional way of interpreting is that this person is so focused on these cups that they don't see this cup that the universe is offering. In your case, where you get this card here, where how can you be vulnerable? How will that benefit people? You're being asked to show your vulnerable side so that, it's when you do show your vulnerable side, yes, other people also have had their trials and tribulations, and other people do show their vulnerable side from time to time. And if you do show yours, it's not that you're asking for sympathy, but you're letting them know that you have also, it's not been easy for you. You have put an effort, but they have seen you. They've seen that you can go the distance alone. They've seen that you have that capability. They won't see you as weak, pile number 3. But if you actually do that with this cup that is being offered to you, this cup from the universe is not something that's going to come from the heavens like that. It could be these very people whom you're trying not to show your vulnerability because you feel they have their problems, let them keep it, so what you feel you're not special, so you don't really have to tell them. Everyone has their problems. That's your attitude. But you're being asked to let people see that even you have problems, because you know that everyone has problems. Maybe they don't see it. You're so poised, they may not be seeing that you have a problem. But when you do, they will actually contribute toward your cause. And this is not sympathy. This is, they would also see, let's put it this way. You see somebody out there working towards a cause, all right? Say you want to save a particular species from going extinct. And they see that, all right, you're on social media, you're saying all this, things like that. And they feel, oh, okay, this person is getting enough. There's nothing we need to do. But if you genuinely appeal to them and you say, see, I've been working on this for so long, and initially I got this, but then this went wrong and that went wrong, and then I put this together. And if you tell them their story, it's not out of sympathy, but they will realize that you've been through so much and you've done so much that if you're putting so much of your time and energy into something, then obviously there is something there. So then they'll get interested in your project and they'll listen. And finally, who's going to benefit? It's not you, right? It is your cause that's going to be that's going to benefit. So if you're going to fight for us, say the Bengal tiger, or you're fighting for whichever animal it is that you're fighting for, or whatever it is, the possibilities are a million. So whatever it is, you will know best. But the fact is that if you show your vulnerable side, it's not about getting sympathy, but it's about getting that support for your cause. And I think you should be able to connect with people better. And it is for the larger good. All right. So pile number 3, what's your advice from the moon? A win-win outcome is forecast. So this is again full moon in Libra. This is so much of air energy here. All right. So pile number 3, you are doing a great job. You're capable of going the distance alone, but if you collaborate with someone, and if you allow people in, and if you actually speak out on all platforms that you possibly can, you are going to make a huge difference to the community. You have it in you, and we need people like you. So don't, you know, just lose out because you don't want to speak up and you don't want to be seen. Whatever you do, either ways, you know, if you're going to do it on your own, it's just that it's going to take a lot more time. And if you want your cause to benefit, then don't you want it started as soon as possible? So either ways, a win-win outcome is forecast. But if you want to hurry the process, you need to be a bit more vulnerable. You need to use all your social media platforms. You need to collaborate with people, and you will find someone who is as passionate as you are in the cause. All right, so just learn to bring down your walls a bit. And with that, we come to the end of your beautiful reading, pile number 3. I'd love to know what it is that you are, you know, what cause it is that you are championing, so that we can also contribute if we have to. Yes, do let me know in the comments, and wishing you luck. And with that, we come to pile number 4, those who chose the original Rider-Waite or the Amethyst crystal. Okay, we've got one card from the Moonology deck, which we shall look at the end of your reading. I'll lay down the cards first. We begin with the 3 of Swords. I don't believe this. It's come in 3 readings out of 4, I think, or has it come in all? No, 3 readings out of 4, yes. 9 of Pentacles, Death, 2 of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and the World. All right, pile number 4. What do you need to know during this full moon in Aquarius? First of all, what are your unique gifts that have contributed to your community? How have they contributed? And you get the 3 of Swords. Pile number 4. You've been through a lot. You know what it is like to have your heart broken, perhaps a number of times. But you have not been a quitter. You are not someone who just gives up everything because you are in a bad place. You heal. You have tremendous strength. You heal. And every wound that you go through, you know, every wound that has occurred in your life, that every sword that has hurt your heart, it's only made you more compassionate. It's made you stronger. It's made you more resilient. It's toughened your character. It's made you grow. And this journey of yours, people see. And this is what inspires them. That if pile number 4s can do it, despite having gone through so much, why can't we? Your kind and compassionate nature, despite everything that you've come through, you know, there are different ways people react. If you've gone through a whole lot, you can be completely closed off. You can be extremely rude, arrogant, keep people at a distance, because that's your way of self-protection. But in your case, you've done a lot of healing. You've worked on yourself. All right? What do you need to let go of so that your uniqueness can be seen? And you get the 9 of Pentacles. Now, everyone strives to be the Nine of Pentacles, and you're being asked to release the Nine of Pentacles. Why? That is because Spirit is saying that you have healed enough. You are kind and compassionate, and on your own, with your grit, with your resilience, you have risen above everything that's gone wrong in your life, and you have been in this Nine of Pentacles energy for a very long time. The Nine of Pentacles is a person who's single, who's made a legacy for herself. I say herself because there's a woman depicted here, but it could, this is not about genders at all. It could be male, female, anyone who's watching this. But the fact is that you have gotten over whatever it is, maybe one incident, maybe 10 incidents, but whatever it is, you've become more resilient, and you are not closed off. All right, you've actually become the kind of person who uses all that experience to help people. You have used that as a stepping stone to success, and you've built yourself this entire world wherein you don't need anybody. You are in a place of luxury, you're on your own, you're happy, you don't need anybody, but you're being asked to let that go. All right, because you've had enough of this, it's time for change. And that's why you have this death card here, which is all about transformation, right? You've already transformed a whole lot. And what is your role in inspiring change for the greatest good? This is your role, death. You have transformed so much, pile number 4. You know, normally with the Three of Swords, if someone's stuck, you'd get the Five of Cups, someone who's crying and brooding and feeling terrible, which is a natural thing, and you've been through all those cycles. It's not that you haven't, because if you don't go through all those cycles, you can never heal. It will always come up as a theme later on in your life. But you have given yourself that time, you have respected yourself, you've given yourself that time, you have taken the time to heal, but it has made you stronger. You've come out of it, and then you have made a world for yourself. This is your glow up for the world to see. You have transformed, and it is this transformation of yours. Okay, it is this transformation of yours that is going to bring about change in your community, because people look up to you and say, wow, this person has been able to come out of all of this, and your story is going to be so inspirational for people around you. So this is what but you're being told that now it's time to, you might have done all the work and come into this, and you might be here for a very long time, and now it's time to change again. It's time to expand, it's time to grow, it's time to move on. So how can you possibly, all right, communicate using all your platforms to help the community? And you get the Two of Wands. So what I can pick up here when you're being asked to let go of this is that you've been through a whole lot, and now people are seeing you glow up, but you're being told that whatever this luxury that you have and whatever you've built for yourself, it is limited, it's small, it's enough, it's more than enough, you're very comfortable, but you have tremendous potential, pile number 4s. And you're being asked to now get out of your comfort zone, and you're being asked to expand whatever it is that you have, because whatever it is that you're doing, when you do it on a larger scale, it benefits a whole lot of people. All right, finally, no one's forcing you to do it, and not everyone has the potential to grow and expand whatever you're doing. But in your case, Spirit is saying that you have a whole lot of potential. And with the Two of Wands here, you're being asked to travel. There are so many in the previous piles, they were asked to communicate via social media, they were asked to communicate by generating jobs. In your case, you're being asked to travel. I don't know what it is that you're doing, and there are so many of you watching this. There'll be different things for different people, but you are being asked to actually travel, broaden your horizons through traveling. You're going to learn a whole lot by traveling, and you are going to drop your pearls of wisdom everywhere, and you are going to get ideas, and you're going to give ideas to people when you travel. All right? Or it could be that you're collaborating with someone overseas. This could be via internet, but it's something that's global. You're being asked to expand whatever you have in this small capacity to something global. All right? And why is it that you struggle being vulnerable? uh, and you get the Queen of Pentacles. It's possible for pile number 4 that you've been in a relationship which has meant a whole lot to you. It's possible that you've been in a marriage. It's possible that it was a very strong marriage and possibly for a very long time, and the last thing you expected was for it to break. You know, this will not be everybody's story, but this is somebody's story, and this is what I'm picking up very strongly, is that whether it's why I say marriage is because of the Queen of Pentacles. This is the wife card. But the fact is that whatever it is, whatever relationship it was, or whether it was a career, whatever it was that has caused this Three of Swords, was not a small thing. It never is a small thing. If a Three of Swords come, it's never a small thing. But in this case, it's something that was a long-term thing. All right. So whether it was a business, or whether it was a marriage, or whether it was a relationship, it was something which was not a few months or a few years thing. It was much longer. All right. And that is why it's devastated you so much. And despite that, and I'm telling you, you've just got my respect, all right, for having gone through so much and then coming, and for how do I put it? It's like if someone's been through heartbreak, I mean, that's something that a whole lot of us have been through, all right, coming out of it, or a tough situation, say a financial crisis or whatever it is. Anything that happens like that, which gives us a jolt, if we rise above it, it is commendable. It is absolutely commendable. But when you have something which is established for over years, when you get into that place when you know that nothing can disturb what we have, if it's in a relationship or if it's in a business partnership or whatever it is. I can't think of all the scenarios here. You know your story best. But when you've had something that's established for such a long time and that breaks, then coming out from it is a totally different ball game, all right? And it is something that needs a whole lot of healing, a whole lot of consistent healing, to be able to come out from it, and not just come out from it and just be there, but to come out from it and reach this level takes a lot of grit, takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of trust in the universe, takes a lot of trust in your own self, and you have done all of that. And because of that, you actually don't want to be vulnerable, because you feel that you've done all this work and you've transformed and you've tried to keep your heart, you tried not to be closed off, and yet you feel that you cannot have another jolt coming anytime soon. And so you want to keep that side to yourself, just for yourself, and you don't want to be vulnerable. But with this World card here, and it's such a beautiful card, it's also major arcana, life, death. With the World card, now this transformation is going to happen, pile number 4s. You are going to expand whatever it is that you're doing. You are going to get tremendous success. And what they are asking you with your, if you show vulnerability, you will find that this whole cycle that you've been up to, from the lowest point, you've come a full circle, and you're right there at the end, all right, just at the end. So and that little bit that is waiting for you to finish is just that portion where you can allow yourself to be vulnerable, and you'll find this circle of pain is completely healed. All right, pile number 4. It is easier said than done. You take your time, but I'm just telling you that you're there. You're just at the finish line. So just do it, and you'll find you have liberated yourself completely. This is such a beautiful, beautiful pile and a beautiful reading. In fact, all of them have been very beautiful. All right, in different ways, but this is really something. What's your advice from the moon? Nothing is yet set in stone. All right, so all this that you worked and you feel you're here and this is the end, this is not the end. Nothing is set in stone. This is not your story. At 9 of Pentacles, you don't stop. You are going to transform. You are going to expand. You are going to make it to Queen of Pentacles, beyond, right to the Empress. Just let this cycle come to a close. Be vulnerable and let go of this pain once and for all. Pile number 4. And that's all I have for you in today's reading. I hope this resonated. Now, these been wonderful readings, powerful readings. Actually, the theme of this particular full moon in Aquarius itself is something which is beyond yourself. It is something which is for the community. It is something which is on a larger scale. You know, on a day-to-day basis, we are all working for ourselves, our families, our small world, right? And when it comes to Aquarius, it's all about expanding that, you know, seeing the whole world as one. In the Hindu tradition, you say Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that this entire world is just one family. All right, so that that's a beautiful concept, and this Aquarius, this age of Aquarius is going to help us do just that, you know, break those boundaries, break that concept of limited identity. And that's it. When you start thinking of benefiting people just beyond yourself, you know, it is so beautiful. It transforms so many lives, and it actually ascends us as a collective. All right. So with that said, for all those of you who are still with me, I wish you all, you know, such a wonderful, wonderful period ahead of you now. Now that you've seen what all you can do, I hope you can actually take all that you get from here, consolidate it, and, you know, set your intentions in the coming new moon, so that the next 6 months you can actually implement all of this. And if we all can contribute on a larger scale, just think of what a wonderful world this can be, right? So till we meet next time, do take care, be good, stay safe. Bye bye.